What's going on, Vikings fans? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show with the NFL Draft only a few days away, I want to go over some of the top Vikings draft targets and specifically what Darren Wolfson had to say about this certain safety landing in Minnesota. Then Adam Schefter dropped a bombshell article earlier on this morning talking about Kirk Cousins and the fact that he could possibly return to Minnesota. We'll dive into all that here on today's show. But before we do so, I want to take a look here at the ESPN analytics on who they say the Vikings will draft. And if you guys see, Nick Emmanwori has the highest percent chance to be taken at pick number 24. Then you also got guys like Derrick Harmon, Malaki Starks, Tyler Booker, Gray Zabel, Shamar Stewart, and even Jackson Dart right there. I'm assuming the Dart spot is just a trade down option for the Minnesota Vikings. But ESPN analytics have the Vikings right now drafting Nick Emmanwori. And as you guys know, I would be a massive fan of that. But with the NFL draft here in a couple of days, I cannot wait first off. And you guys need to make sure you are subscribed here to the channel. I'm hoping we can hit 56K before the draft starts Thursday night. So if you guys are new here and want to stay up to date around everything on your Minnesota Vikings, we're going to be going live for all 7 rounds of the NFL draft. So hit that subscribe button today. Don't miss a thing around your favorite football team. All right, so there are apparently a lot of fans of Georgia safety Malaki Starks within the Vikings organization, specifically the brass. This is coming in from Darren Wolfson the other day. And I will say, bad on me. I have not done a good job or done enough of a job of talking about Malaki Starks, Georgia safety, as I think he has a very good chance to be the Vikings pick at 24. I think I just had blinders on from the Lewis Cine draft. It's like I see Georgia safety. I'm just like, no, cannot draft him. But him and Lewis Cine are very, very different players. Well, Malaki Starks is more on the brand of that Brian Branch type of safety, nickel hybrid, very versatile player, and he's just a great football player. And, you know, he was targeted 52 times this past season, only gave up 34 receptions, 4 PBUs, 1 interception on the year, and a lot of quarterback rating of 97.7. But this guy has been always productive throughout his collegiate career with the Georgia Bulldogs. You know, total career stats, 197 tackles, 6 TFLs, 23 PBUs, did have 6 interceptions as well. And this guy's just a playmaker. He's always in the right spot, always making the right reads defensively, post-snap, pre-snap. It really does not matter. And, you know, I've seen this pro comp floated out there a whole bunch, and I agree with it. Brian Branch, you know, player of the Detroit Lions right now, he's a stud, one of the better secondary players in the National Football League. And I think when you have a guy like Malaki Starks, very versatile, just a naturally just good instincts, good football player. I think a guy like that in Brian Flores' system where maybe Emmanwori would be that kind of boomer bust pick where I think Malaki Starks would be, you know, still have some high potential, but on the polar opposite where it's like if the Vikings take him, I expect him to be an immediate impact day one next season. But a big reason why Malaki Starks is falling because, you know, the production's there. You throw on the tape. He's fantastic. A lot of people are a little concerned about just his athletic ability. Did not, you know, grade out too well at the NFL scouting combine, but real analytics, they pretty much, you know, give athletic scores on how they are actually out there on the football field. And his IGA score, 91.2, that's in the 91st percentile. His max speed was logged at 20.8 miles per hour, which was in the 84th percentile. Now, if you compare these to his combine numbers, it looks a lot different, but I like the fact where it's if you combine great production, in my opinion, great film, with also great on-the-field athleticism, it almost makes it a no-brainer for the Vikings. But I am still torn. Like, if pick 24 rolls around and it's like Nick Emmanwori, Malaki Starks are out there on the board for the Vikes, and they're going to take either one of those guys, I am torn. I don't know who I would take personally. That's a very, very, very tough decision for this Vikings front office. Now, I think I would still lean Emmanwori over Malaki Starks, but it is just slightly, and honestly, I think this is a pick Hoisey Dofomensa literally walks up to Brian Flores and be like, hey, Malaki Starks, Nick Emmanwori, you choose, and that's who we're taking at pick 24. But here are my top 5 draft targets for the Vikings as it stands right now. Number 1, I'm still going to go Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle out of Michigan. I think he's going to be a stud, man. He's got all types of upside. He is a freak athlete. Then I am going to go Nick Emmanwori, number 2, Malaki Starks, number 3. And then I did decide to include Donovan Jackson here. Now, I think this is the only offensive player the Vikings could take. Now, obviously, we get like a TJ Hawkinson trade or a Jordan Addison trade, which I think is unlikely. Then maybe a weapon like a tight end or receiver comes into play in round 1. But I like Donovan Jackson as that offensive guard, has tackle versatility. Then you also got a guy like Derrick Harmon also another interior defensive lineman. Or you can even go a guy like Walter Nolan. He'll probably be up there as well. But the Vikings are in a really good spot, man, in terms of how they could really just upgrade this roster. So I'll ask you guys this. Pick a player for me. You're on the clock at number 24, and Quasi's calling you. Who are you taking? Give me an NE for Nick Emmanwori. Give me an MS for Malachi Starks. You guys let me know who you're taking down below in the comment section. I'm going Emmanwori, but I'm fine with either of these guys. We're in the purple and gold next season. Coming up next here on the show, could the Vikings bring back Kirk Cousins? Can't believe we're talking about it, but Adam Schefter floated the idea out there. So we'll share with you guys info there here in just a second. But before we do so, I want to give a massive shout out to today's presenting sponsor, and that is Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Now, Game Time, they also have last minute deals where you can save up to 60% off buying last minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, theater shows, etc. Whatever requires buying a ticket, Game Time has it. They also have Game Time picks that make last minute ticket buying easier than ever by quickly highlighting the best deals in the stadium. And Game Time makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to like first pitch, tip-off, and with the Lakers coming to Minneapolis for Game 3 of the Western Conference first-round playoffs. If you guys want to go see Luka, LeBron, shout out to the T-Wolves for getting it done in Game 1 in Los Angeles on Saturday night. But if you guys want to go see Game 3, it's an expensive ticket. And if you guys want to help yourself out and save yourself $20 off, plug in that promo code ChatSports on your first purchase. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, so this big question mark. What are the Vikings going to do at the backup quarterback position? Are they just going to roll out with Brett Rippon? Are they waiting for Ryan Tannehill? Well, Adam Schefter says the Vikings could be looking at Kirk Cousins to fill that backup quarterback position. And this is what Schefter had to say, saying there is a feeling around the league that a team, whether it is the Vikings or Steelers, might be willing to pay down roughly $10 million for the likes of Kirk Cousins. Now, I think it would be objectively hilarious if Kirk returned to Minnesota, where he played some of the best football of his NFL career during the 3 years he was there, or more than 3 years, but these were the 3 of his best years with the Minnesota Vikings. And, 2020, 35 touchdowns, 21, 33 touchdowns, and in 2022 also had 29 touchdowns to 14 interceptions and led the Vikings to 14 wins that season in 2022. But a lot of people are asking, who is Kirk Cousins now? Because we really saw him during the last 5 games with the Atlanta Falcons look like a shell of himself. And for the first 9 games, he was pretty damn good. Almost 70% completion percentage, over 2,200 yards, 17 touchdowns, 7 picks. But in those 5 games after it, 9 interceptions, 1 touchdown. He literally looked like a complete shell of himself. And, Kirk also kind of chopped this up to, he's dealing with an elbow, he's dealing with a shoulder injury. It wasn't the torn Achilles that was bothering his play. And I really believe this. Kirk Cousins as backup quarterback is one of the best options you can have because I love J.J. McCarthy. I think he's going to be awesome. I think he's going to hit the ground running week 1 and just take where this Vikings team left off last season and take it to another level. But if J.J. were to have to miss time and he has to miss a month or so, having a guy like Kirk Cousins, who is familiar with Kevin O'Connell, what he wants to accomplish, has that relationship with Justin Jefferson as well. Kirk Cousins, if you had the power rank, like even the Gardner Minshew's, like all these guys who we wanted, Joe Flacco. If I had to say one guy I would want as a backup quarterback, it would be Kirk. And I think it would be awesome to have Kirk Cousins back on this team. Now, it would come down to draft capital. How much money, is the Atlanta Falcons willing to eat? We'll have to wait and see. But I'll ask you guys this. What say you? Would you trade for Kirk Cousins? Give me a T for trade. Give me a P for pass. You guys let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I'm doing it if it's for like a 2026 5th-round pick. I think that would be probably the only draft capital I'd be willing to give up. But what say you on this one? Would you trade for Kirk Cousins? And also, friendly reminder, we are going to be going live for the entire 2025 NFL Draft. So hit that subscribe button today. Lock us in as your go-to Vikings YouTube channel. And we'll see you guys next time. As always, Skol Vikes.